And we're welcoming in right now our guest, Jen Rizzotti, president of the Connecticut Sun, who played in their season opener, their home opener last night, defeating Indiana 92-71. So congratulations on that. And we're not actually going to get into the technicalities of the game too much, but more kind of the bigger picture stuff. By the way, you're joining us on your birthday. So thank you for making the time for us, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
Bigger picture, obviously season opener, home opener, big deal. But sold out arena. We saw that some of the Patriots were there. Good Morning America was there. Obviously, you guys got the win. You were honored ahead of the game. What was the atmosphere like? And maybe leading up to it too, because I'm sure you were busy getting all that organized and ready. What was the whole atmosphere like coming together for that home opener last night?
Yeah, it was pretty unbelievable. I think actually probably since Caitlin Clark declared for the draft back in March, and everybody circled her first WNBA game on the calendar being in Connecticut. It's been a little intense and in a good way. I think last night's game, although I'm very happy with the outcome on the court, was so much more about where the WNBA is and the business of basketball right now than it was actual baskets and steals and points. And the effect that this draft class has had, the effect that the popularity of the college game spilling over into the WNBA has had on our league has been tremendous. So we've all seen a rise in ticket sales. We've all seen a rise in season ticket membership. We've all seen a rise in brokers trying to buy tickets and increase prices. So it's been a phenomenal economic impact for the leaders of organizations that we're all trying to make sure that we take advantage of now, and we ride this kind of wave of momentum and make sure that it continues into the future.
I love that. I love hearing that, especially like you said, the interest, the money, the tickets, the promotions, all that just growing the women's game, which has been working so tirelessly for so long. And
Yeah.
obviously, you've been a college athlete and one of the best, and you've probably seen the game grow so much. You mentioned the draft class. How much, and Caitlin Clark, of course, one of the, like you said, since we found out the schedule where she was going to be, one of the reasons why there's been so much attention from young girls, young boys, everyone on the sport of the women's side of basketball.
Yeah.
But the draft class in general, I want to give Caitlin Clark her dues, but we saw very, very great draft class. I'm looking for the right word. I was going to say talented.
Yeah.
There we go. Talented draft class. And the draft, of course, being aired as well. What do you think that's done for the game?
Well, I mean, I think the fact that the numbers of viewers of the draft being so high and dramatically high is a testament to how interested people were in where these young women are going to end up. And yes, Caitlin has a lot to do with that, of course, but I think Angel Reese is another name of in popularity in the game and people's interest in how she's going to translate into the WNBA. And Cameron Brink, who got drafted by LA, who played at Stanford, and Rakia Jackson, who was at Tennessee. And then they love to tune in to see what our women look like. It's so inspiring to me that our athletes can focus on their brands. They can focus on influencing culture. They can focus on, influence social policies. I think their investment in being more than just athletes is really driving some conversation and driving attention around our game in ways that we've never seen. And their ability to build their brand and understand the importance of capitalizing right now on their popularity has really done wonders for bringing attention to this next phase in their journey, which is the WNBA. And I think the attention that we're garnering, it also has a lot to do with how is their game going to translate. That we want the viewers to see that, yes, Caitlin and Angel and Camilla are tremendous players, but they're now coming into a league with players that are way better than them because they've been playing this game for decades. So it's just really exciting to see that come together, right? This popularity of the college game into all of a sudden the respect for how good you need to be to make the WNBA. And I think the players understand that. And so now it's time to educate the fans that there's still a learning curve. They're going to impact the game in so many ways, but let's make sure we're giving our flowers to the women that are in the league. And they've been doing this and they've been growing the game for over 20 years that the WNBA has been in existence.
No, exactly. So many places I could take that. I'm going to start with kind of the why, and I don't know if you can answer it, but uh, this podcast is an example of it. You know, Nesson has a lot of podcasts that we're branching out. We want to make this one give the dues and the time and the attention to women in the industry,
Mhm.
to sports, women in sports, et cetera, et cetera. And it's, you know, it's kind of feels like I'm 38 and started broadcasting when I was 18, mind you, like, you know, in a
Yeah.
tiny little corner, and you know, no one was watching. But regardless, 20 years I have seen
Yeah.
the industry change and grow, and it feels like it's not all of a sudden, but it
Yes.
feels like there was this, like, it's like volcanic effect, like
Yes.
it's gonna erupt, and it's erupting now. Do you
Yeah.
have, from your own perspective, a reason as to why now?
Yeah. I think that we've just increased access, right? I think that, you never know what comes first all the time, right? Sometimes it's you increase the access and then all of a sudden it becomes more popular, or it's becoming more popular. So that let's figure out how to get it on TV. And we've seen, like, probably a couple years ago when Caitlin and Paige Beckers were kind of rising up through the college game together and becoming these like rivals, like a little bit of a shift of people wanting to see more women's basketball on TV. And then entered like LSU and Angel Reese and Kim Mulkey, and they're like, like confidence and their brashness and their like, unapologetic style, right? And that added an element that was really exciting. And so you look at Caitlin, who's I think one of the most captivating players to watch. You look at these storylines about rivalries, and it was almost like, we better put this on TV. We better make it accessible. And then all of a sudden, when ESPN and Fox and NBC started putting women's basketball on TV, more and more people started to watch. When the WNBA had games on ABC last year, we blew away our viewership numbers, because when you make it accessible for someone who's just clicking through channels, they're stopping now and watching these games. And so I think it's like a chicken and egg conversation. Like, is it popularity that led to access, or is it access that led to popularity? Either way, that increase in making the game more accessible. And I give Kathy Engelbert at the league office a lot of credit for understanding that model, that we need to bring this game to our fans on an easier platform, right? We need to make it more accessible to them. And I think pushing that narrative and pushing the economic model needing to change in the WNBA has really done wonders for both the college game and the pro game. And like you said, now we're seeing this eruption of popularity and excitement and investment, right? When brands are investing in our athletes, they become more accessible. They become more of household names. They're showing up in your commercials when you're watching regular TV. That
Yeah.
wasn't happening before. And now we're like pushing the envelope on making sure that brands understand that investing in these women are only going to help them. And again, we're seeing that continued interest and investment, and it's doing wonders for our young women.